Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with another video here on the weekly reset that's happening in just a few hours from the time that this video releases. So in today's video, we're going to be going over all the upcoming updates as well as changes to come, in addition to some key events that you will be wanting to pay attention to this week, especially given the massive shift in the meta. There's some big announcements from last week's Marvel Strike Force blog post, so definitely stay tuned, guys. As per usual, if you want to stay up to date with Marvel Strike Force content, crush these events completely free to play, just like myself. Please make sure you follow along, hit that like button, give the channel a sub for future videos just like this. First and foremost, let's talk about the past events right now that are wrapping up here, because you do want to be mindful of them before we talk about the new ones turning over. So obviously the big one here, guys, and again, this was pre-recorded before this went live, but you can see time recording 17 hours, so it's going to obviously be less when you watch this video. But remember, this is the one that's ending up here with the additional leaderboards. So to capitalize on this, make sure you guys are using either a campaign energy or, more importantly, the showcase energy relating back to Night Stalkers, because that's ultimately going to determine your ranking right now. As you can see, I'm still within the top 5,000. That's kind of the range I'm aiming for, but make sure you guys take a look at the leaderboards where you're ranked. Obviously, being in the top 10,000 is going to be the most important, because it gives you another shot here of more of those ISO 8 purple ions, giving you further progression in Dark Dimension 8, ultimately Odin. Each and every one of these ions do add up over time. Good news is that Siege Battle World is right around the corner, so I mean, even if you're not taking advantage of these leaderboards, we know that we have a proven game mode that's going to be coming. But yeah, in the meantime, this is a nice way to nibble into that that balance that we need to obviously build up those tunes. So this one's wrapping up. We also have the massive NIMROD event finally starting off pretty shortly here, right? So I broke this down actually in the video I made yesterday if you guys want to preview it. But remember, there's 100 shards of NIMROD actually included in the Swamp Showdown event. That's why we've been hoarding ISO 8 campaign energy. But yeah, it's very notable, guys. 100 shards here, and obviously the big one is the fact that you also want to be aiming for the monthly item, which is the Holy Water. And then afterwards, Milestone 14, Milestone 15. These are the two that I'm gunning for, because you can see that's an extra 65 shards of NIMROD, plus a little bit of a boost there in the ISO 8 purple. So that's obviously going to be the key goal. I'll link my video below, guys, but overall, if you have some of the key notable figures that I pointed out in my video, including Old Man Logan, Black Knight, Green Goblin Classic, those characters are going to add immensely, because each of them will actually be part of those war bonuses, and that's essentially how you're going to be scoring, right? Merch for money, out of time, as well as Superior 6 characters are going to give you value. And then lastly, it's going to be earning these Swamp Army Orbs from ISO 8 campaign specifically, and the Dead of Night, which once again is the showcase energy. That's their way of kind of throttling folks from not being able to hoard too much now in anticipation of these events, just because now there's going to be different avenues here going into the milestone. So that's really the big event that's starting off, obviously. But with the new things coming up as well, I also want to point out the new Strike Pass, guys. So Thanos Endgame, he's gonna be joining the Strike Pass here. So if you guys have already maxed out your previous Strike Pass, save those daily claim objectives, right? Remember, you can actually claim it after reset, and that way it gives you a head start on the Strike Pass, and once again giving you more shards here of Thanos Endgame, an absolute the complete edition for the Annihilator team. Remember, he's required for the next legendary character, likely going to be Shadow King. That's kind of rumored until they make that announcement. But in the meantime, Thanos Endgame is a huge part of the arena meta, Dark Dimension. You can even utilize him in some aspects of raids if that's kind of the route you want to go. But honestly, yeah, a great solid character and value all across the board. So I'm glad to see that he's getting shards as well after his free-to-play event a couple weeks back. Otherwise, I also want to point out, guys, if you haven't checked out my video from this weekend, there's been some rumors and speculation that the new Astral team is going to involve reworks to Moondragon, and as well as Doctor Strange, surprisingly enough. This would be his third rework, so hopefully third time's a charm. Hopefully he makes both these characters relevant once again, as they can actually benefit some other teams. Like, for example, Doctor Strange will make the Secret Defenders better until the rest of this new Astral team comes out. And remember, this Astral team is going to be signaling as the first Siege Battle World bonus kind of benefiting team. So they're going to be part of that meta there and having some importance in actually taking down the big bad boss in Null. So we will see, guys. These two characters plus Shadow King are the characters speculated here for the new Astral team, and then we will see who the new two character additions will also be. I also want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't really have additional information on how the rest of the Omega Sentinel shards are going to be like. So we obviously have been capitalizing on shards from her in the monthly event. But as for the other 40-50 shards, we will see in due time. Likely some data mines coming up pretty shortly here, so we will be obviously on the watch for that and see how that shapes out to be next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be before obviously the switching here of the Night Stalkers. It makes sense. I mean, all the other characters have been accounted for. Sentinel was a few weeks back. Nimrod's gonna be this week, so it does make sense. Hopefully, fingers crossed, next week we will see the rest of Omega, and that basically gives you the full Orcus team. And then last but not least, in a few days here, actually, we're gonna have the introduction of Man-Thing, and then he's gonna be rounding out the rest of the Night Stalker team. Now, having said that, whether or not he's going to be needed is completely up to you guys, just because of the fact that it's been proven with the final edition of Oath from last week. The 4-piece does work. The 4-piece plus Mephisto or Deathpool, that combination can actually get you through actually the deepest stages of the Omega Orcus section respectively for Mystic. So just food for thought. You guys may or may not want to invest in that, but at the end of the day, that's your call, guys. So those are kind of the big things happening here. We also have an Iron Man Infinity War Blitz event, so be on the watch for that. But another big announcement too, guys, in case you missed it as well. Coming to the supply store here in the candy, respectively. As you can see, I've been obviously using 600k gold for building up a supply of candies as well as the awakened materials. But yeah, Captain Britain, he is returning officially. We're going to be seeing some events come pretty shortly here. This is going to be his free-to-play event finally coming months after his introduction into the game. And yes, in the recent blog post, they confirmed that his shards are coming directly into the candy store. It remains to be seen how much that's going to cost. But stay tuned, guys. We will see, and we'll deep dive whether or not it's going to be worth it. But it is an avenue, regardless, for free-to-play folks to actually get access to his shards. And good timing as well if you guys do have that resource like myself hoarding, because we know that with the nice legendary character, Captain Britain obviously being part of Illuminati can help get you there to the finish line as well. So that pretty much in a nutshell is the events, guys. I mean, otherwise, the other one that I would highly stress you guys to focus on, obviously, has been these new night raids that have been happening each week, in case you haven't already. And this has been nice because of the fact that we've been able to get more and more shards out here, obviously. T3 ISO 8 purple, we can be getting the ciphers, but we've been gunning for this very last milestone here because getting the 500,000 ions, that is absolutely massive. So that's obviously for an Engage Alliance. There's Mega Gold Orbs as well, but yeah, that's kind of the goal for us. We've been able to maximize them, but yeah, it's a nice competitive event for those active alliance. So food for thought there, and obviously some shards here at Blade, including orbs, but terrible drops. So that's consistent what we've seen anyway. So that's it for now, guys. Let me know what you think, comments below. Thank you for your time as always. We'll be back with more information as per usual, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.